Toronto Maple Leafs acquire Cody Ceci, Ben Harpur, and Aaron Luchuk from the Ottawa Senators in exchange for Nikita Zaitsev, Connor Brown, and Michael Carcone. Hi, my name is Ryan. Welcome back to Stick and Pucksters YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about the Nikita Zaitsev trade out of Toronto, the trade that happened this morning before really anything happened on the free agency first day in Canada today, here in Canada. First off, this probably wasn't the biggest Leafs trade of the day. I will talk about that in another video, but this is the first one that happened, so it's up first. Breaking down this trade, Nikita Zaitsev is the biggest piece that is moved either way as far as contract is concerned. At $4.5 million left on his deal for the next 5 years. And that is the biggest part of this trade, hands down, is to get out from under that contract for the next 5 years, which is huge for Toronto. And also, as I read a lot of the response to this trade on Twitter and Facebook and all other sites, the Ottawa Senators fans are a little nuts. They remind me of Leafs fans from like 2014-15 when we were like still hopeful about this team and thought our players were better than they were. They have taken Nikita Zaitsev as this like top 4 guy who plays big minutes, who scores 30 points for you. If any Ottawa Senators fans end up watching this video, I promise you that's not true. Obviously, still a chance. He could go to Ottawa and be great, no problem. But there's also the chance that Jason Spezza, who came to Toronto today, ends up to be a 40-point player, which also is probably not going to happen. But could happen. You know, Spezza could come up and all of a sudden he's playing with Matthews and has some power play time and boom, 50, 40 points. More than likely not going to happen. I am glad he gets a fresh start. He didn't like it in Toronto for whatever reason. I think it's because of the media and how he gets treated here. I'm happy for him to move on and get a fresh start in Ottawa. Hopefully that rejuvenates his career a little bit because it wasn't working here in Toronto for the most part. Also, the other funny thing is, didn't Eugene Melnyk rip the Toronto defense like 6 months ago or less than 6 months ago about how they were good, but they forgot about defense and then went out and acquired the coach who was responsible for the Leafs defense, traded for Nikita Zaitsev, and signed Ron Hainsey? I'm a little confused about I don't know what the Ottawa Senators are trying to be here. Now, the other big part of this trade, Cody Ceci. I'm getting this impression on the internet that people think he is a worse version of Nikita Zaitsev. I don't think that's true. He has had issues, yes, in Ottawa, defensively and otherwise, but he's also playing for the Ottawa Senators, and they're really bad. And the other thing people are forgetting is the reason Nikita Zaitsev became tradable at all is because of the way he played with Jake Muzzin in the playoffs and at the end of the season. And if Jake Muzzin can take Nikita Zaitsev and make him a player and a guy who can be traded and not give up like a first-round pick like we did for Patrick Marleau, why can't he do the exact same thing for Cody Ceci? We have that right-handed defenseman now, spoilers to my next video, but obviously everyone knows that we have Tyson Barrie now, so he's playing top minutes with Riley most likely, 5-on-5 if you look at the depth chart. And Ceci, if he signs in Toronto, he still hasn't signed yet, but assuming he re-ups here for the 1 year, like everyone thinks he is, why can't Jake Muzzin make Ceci a player? Worst case scenario is we sign him for 1 season, right? Which is what everyone's expecting. I would be shocked if we signed him to a multi-year deal, and I don't think that's what Dubas is going to do. The worst case scenario is we sign him for 1 year at about what Zaitsev was making, and then he's bad, and then we get rid of him the next year because all of a sudden he's a UFA. It doesn't seem like any lose situation other than we have a bad right-handed defenseman. We've had a bad defense core for years, and I think if CC comes in and is a replacement level guy, I think Toronto wins this trade. And people forget, Cody Ceci was the 15th overall pick in 2012. That's Morgan Riley's draft. Morgan Riley didn't become the player that we all thought he was until maybe this year when he had a career year. Ceci may still turn out to be a really decent player with the right support around him. And yes, he had support in Ottawa when he was when Erik Karlsson was there and when they were good and when they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But it was also 2 years ago at this point. He's still 25. I think he's 25. He's still 25 years old. Hey, I see no negatives with this trade. Now, probably the best player, and not the biggest piece, but the best player to go back around either side is Connor Brown. I was really, really hoping as a Leafs fan, and because I really like Connor Brown, that we would be able to keep him in some way. But he just didn't fit in Toronto anymore. Yes, he killed penalties. Yes, he's the Mike Babcock player, but he just, on the right side, is so deep in Toronto that Brown was the odd man out, and he has a tradable 1-year, $2.1 million contract that people found incredibly valuable, and a team like Ottawa is trying to reach the floor and acquire young players at the same time is huge for Ottawa, because does Brown come to Ottawa, and is Brown the best right winger Ottawa has right now? He might be. As for the rest of the guys in this trade, Ben Harpur sticks out. He's a big 6'6" who can actually skate a little bit. He's a left-hand shot, so that doesn't. If we could pull two right-hand defensemen out of Ottawa on the same day, I would be shocked. But he has played the right-hand side in the past. He's played with Thomas Chabot and Mark Borowiecki, however you pronounce that guy's name. So he has played right in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play in the NHL with Toronto at all, just because of how deep our left side is. But if he comes into training camp and Babcock loves him, they'll find a way to put him in the lineup, even if as a 7th, 6th guy. I don't mind having a guy like Ben Harpur. He's signed really cheap for another year. Worst case scenario, we move on from him next year. Michael Carcone might be the sleeper player in this trade. Don't be shocked, Ottawa Senators fans, if he's in your lineup with the next couple years and is playing a depth role, a scoring role, and he puts up some decent numbers with your AHL team and when he comes up your NHL team. The guy has some skills. He skates well. He might be a 4A player, but when we got him in trade earlier this season, the Leafs from Vancouver for Josh Leivo, I was excited about it, and yeah, he might turn out to be kind of a cheeky sneak player in this trade. Aaron Luchuk, I'm told, is a plug and a guy who probably will never play in the NHL. Apparently, Ottawa's only signed him. Who was it? Because he would be a good Logan Brown, good for Logan Brown in the minors. He was his line mate apparently in juniors. It was thought to maybe help him along, and that's why they picked up this guy. I don't think he'll see much time even with the Marlies this year. Yeah, I don't have much to say, honestly, about Aaron Luchuk. I forgot Toronto also acquires a 2020 third-round pick, which is Columbus's pick. I forgot to mention that in the front. But if we got all these guys and got rid of Zaitsev and got a third-round pick, this trade could just work out so well for the Leafs. Overall, I like this trade. It hinges on whether Cody Ceci is a replacement level player to Nikita Zaitsev, and that is such a low bar, it's insane. And it also hinges on what his contract is like. If it's a 1-year deal, if he leaves at the end of next year, if he signs long term here, it is so much to deal with Cody Ceci still. I think he'll be a decent player, contrary to what everyone else seems to think. And I know he's had issues in Ottawa, but I just believe that Ottawa has screwed him so much. A fresh start, like Zaitsev, will do wonders for him. To me, Toronto wins this trade. I'm trying to be as unbiased as a Leafs fan as I possibly can, but I really do think just getting out of the 5 years that Zaitsev is owed at 4.5, Toronto wins the trade just in that. Giving up Connor Brown is bad, but we have replacement players for him to get rid of those guys, to shave off all this space. I think the Leafs, the change in cap hit was 5.875 was the contract we shed. That is exactly what we need right now to try to get a guy like Mitch Marner signed, Cody Ceci signed, and now Alex Kerfoot signed. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ryan. This is the Stickin' Pucksters YouTube channel. Hit subscribe if you like this video, and leave a like for us. It really helps. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.